My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? Come on, tell me, baby. In the pond, where the sun don't ever shine. I was shivered the whole night through.
Hey, welcome to the Old-Fashioned Hollywood Podcast.
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned.
If that's what we call it. We're not sure.
on camera, so it's obviously a podcast. It's on camera.
Oh, God, I hate them. Oh, I really
I love them.
It's super good.
So, two out of three already. 2 out of 3, so.
What were we just talking about a minute ago? The other day. No, Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah.
You said you love the old movie?
Is that how we want to start off the show?
Who cares? I don't care. But no, what I wanted to say is you said you love the old movie, but the show you weren't that into?
The show my mom watched, and I couldn't fucking stand it.
But
I remember it pained me because the movie was like my fucking favorite.
Joss Whedon, I guess, he had written that originally. I guess this is what I was just reading the other day. He had written that, and he was really unhappy with what they'd done with the movie, so he went and made it his own way as the show. But I always thought the movie was way cooler and funnier and like.
I think it's partially because of, I was a kid and whatever. Even now, who's the guy in it?
Pee Wee Herman's pretty awesome.
He annoyed the crap out of me then. He still annoys me now.
In the movie or in the show?
In the movie.
Oh, so it's the show you like, the movie you don't like.
No, the movie I liked. But even the people in the movie, it's not necessarily that they like. He annoyed. I think part of it was because of my age. I believe. You know what I mean?
Wait, you loved that movie, but the dude annoyed you the whole fucking time?
Yeah, he's annoying.
It happens. Yeah, I have movies like
Honestly, I can't remember the movie. I
watched it, but Kiefer Sutherland's dad is like the mentor in it.
Donald Sutherland.
Rutger Hauer's the bad guy, dude.
It's
fucking, They got a cool cast.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh. Rutger Hauer, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The Sutherlands are both terrifying.
When he dies at the end, he like dies and he's laying there as a vampire. And he dies like ugh, and then he pulls his arm over. Like they do all these little things that make it hilarious. They're doing it's obviously like tongue in cheek.
Who is that little crazy guy that was like? The kind of like
it's Pee Wee Herman. Not the sidekick, not the good dude.
I can't remember
Paul
what
Rubens
his name was. He was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He was so cool. Oh, it was Paul.
David
Rubens.
Arquette wasn't that vampire buddy, was he? He might have been one of them because I remember him being a vampire or something. We crashed here the other night when we were drunk. We were at a party down the street in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Melinda doesn't remember leaving the party. She doesn't remember being here at all. I slept on a cot right here and gave the blanket to her. We took care of you like fucking, like you were a baby. He like took your flip flops off for you. And I gave you the blanket. I was like, you piece of shit. We love you.
Is this gonna be what our podcast is about?
Last time on Melinda getting drunk.
Melinda, piece of shit.
I mean, we'll never be short.
What are you looking up right now?
I want to see if
David Arquette's in the original Vampire Slayer.
He absolutely was. Yep, Donald Sutherland. Christy Swanson.
I don't think she did much after that.
Christy Swanson, is
I don't remember
is that
much.
Buffy?
Yeah.
So I forgot we were honestly. I kind of forget that we have a camera on. So.
And Hilary Swank.
Yeah.
Hilary Swank's in it. Oh, she's probably like a small little side character in it. So we're trying to figure out a podcast. We're going to do a podcast.
Well, this is it. This is the run. This is the.
But we'll probably have a better format put together for when we officially start diving in more officially.
I think. Where are we going with that?
We like the old-fashioned idea. I hate them though. It burnt. I don't like them at all, man.
Yeah. But it's a slow.
Two old fashions and a Corona. The podcast.
Two old fashions and a Corona.
Can't use the name Corona in your fucking thing.
Yeah. See if Pacifico would sponsor.
Hey,
Drink the shit out of that.
Right. Let's see.
So we need to work on topic transitions.
Yeah.
Well, I know a few.
We're all like film type people, so I think like the topic of film and TV is going to come up a lot. Like, it's. Blade Runner's coming out this week or
which
whatever. Yeah.
I want to show Katie the original one. So that, what do you show them? The director's cut? I never know which one. There's like 10 fucking versions.
I've never seen the old one the entire way.
But there's like all these different versions, and I remember one is just way better than all the other ones.
I think it's the director's cut. I mean, honestly, the director's cut's the only one that I've seen like the last 5 times.
It's one of the best fucking movies in the world, but you gotta
right.
fucking pay attention to it. You gotta give it like. It can't be like fucking you're going around
I've seen
working around
interviews
a house.
where they're talking about filming it, and they're like, "Dude, it was It was fucked up. It was dangerous. It was crazy. And I'm like, I got this.
And it's smart. It's just super smart. It's based on a book, right?
It's based on a short story. Philip K. Dick. Do androids dream of electric sheep?
It's so smart, dude.
Yeah.
But like I said, you gotta pay attention to it. It's not something you just kind of half-ass.
Right.
Like I watched it like 3 times. I was like, oh.
I don't know. Like for as much time as I have wasted or maybe spent productively in my life watching everything in the fucking that I've watched, it's like there's still so much shit, like classic shit, like Star Wars, that I'm just like, you can name all the characters and 40% of them I'll be like, wait a minute, I'll have to think about it before I realize.
Yeah, the universe. I mean, probably part of it
too
is
universe too.
Probably part of it too is when you're a kid, you don't just watch it once. You're watching that shit over and over and
like
burning into your brain.
Yeah.
Like,
the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I just watched Batman the other day.
The Keaton one?
Milan was like, which Batman? I'm like, fuck you, which Batman? You know which Batman I'm talking about. The only one that's just called Batman. You know what I mean? Like, that I watched 1,000 times.
Movie
I know
it's
the little, like, background noises in that fucking movie. You know what I mean? Or, like, old, I don't know. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
kill me, man.
Spaceballs. Come on.
That
was the best Christmas ever for me. My brother got that. Merchandising. The flamethrower.
Kids are gonna love that.
Love this one.
I showed Katie.
I watched that one so many times.
My girlfriend, Young Frankenstein, for the first time.
Okay.
Oh, could be worse. Could be raining. They moved the hump.
All the jokes
Shit
are
like
so
that
bad. They're like
so
little
bad.
gags, but they land in a way. Maybe it's the way they do them.
You know the one
Such dorky gags.
Was it the horse's name? I forget what it actually is, but it means
Bluka.
glue. That's why.
Wait, it means what?
It means glue. That's why the horse whinnies every time someone's name is
Why
spoken.
would
I can't
glue
remember.
make a horse whinny?
Because that's what they make out of their hooves.
After they,
It's that glue
I
made out of, like, horses.
thought it was because they feared the lady because she was like they were treating her like an old evil witch. They'd be like, Bluka, and the lightning would crash and.
I think maybe it's her name, but every time someone's name, it actually means glue, and that's why the horse is like. I didn't know that.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
So
That
many
was
little
ruined.
crazy
all those
things
little layers.
like that in those movies. Dude, Mel Brooks and fucking.
Yeah.
Like Monty Python, that's the shit I grew up on. That I will never.
Does
how
Blazing
I beat a
Saddles?
joke to
Does
death,
the racism in Blazing Saddles seem like self-aware, progressive, making fun of racism, or does it seem like old white guys actually being a little bit racist and then later kind of rewriting history and saying, yeah, but that was the joke?
It does, and I thought it before.
It does. Which one?
I think it seems like it's very purposeful, and it's not just like we kind of fucked up and whatever. Like but part of it is because I think it was Gene Wilder. Somebody was like, they were asking Richard Pryor's opinion about like, should we have the N-word? Should we have stuff like that? And he was like, you have to have it in there. You can't not have stuff like that in there. Right. So when you have that kind of advisement, then it seems like, they know what they're doing. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, his stuff is so, I mean, being like a Jew and stuff like that, I think he was like aware of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like that, and everything, like all the stuff is so intentional. I mean, like whether it's like Spaceballs or whatever, like all the jokes, everything is so intentional. Like it doesn't seem like anything is
Robin
done
Hood
on
Man in
accident.
Tights, such a masterpiece.
Right.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Such an enlightened, so ahead of his time.
Right.
I'm just kidding. So I have a topic that's not film or nerd related.
Let me just check something real quick on my camera.
All right.
Awkward hole.
We're back.
We're back.
No,
that's the thing is, if we're talking about if somebody's in control in future episodes of like kind of guiding the conversation, you don't want people rambling too long on a topic. You want to keep it moving. But you also don't want to interrupt something that's compelling to the audience.
We could just get like a stick or something, and then when you guys get off topic, I just hit you with it, and then like back on topic.
Bloody Knees, the podcast.
Old fashioned and shot collars.
Can you see that how red I'm getting because of this alcohol right now?
Yeah.
You had 3 sips of that.
Dude,
and yet you won't put it down.
Despise the taste of it. Well, I want alcohol. I just don't want alcohol.
Despise the taste.
So we were talking about moving to LA. I've been here 3 years. How long have you been here? 27 years, right?
I moved to Riverside, which is like an hour east of here, in 2003.
Huh.
And then I moved to Burbank, which is LA, in 2008.
Is that right?
Yeah. So LA proper like 9 hours. 9 hours.
9 hours. All that.
9 hours.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Almost a full setup right now.
Yeah.
Moving real fast.
9 years. 9 years. Yeah.
9 years, 3 years. Tres años. 1 year? Did you hit 1 year?
It was August 15th.
I've been here 3 years, and I swear I still use my turn signal. I don't drive like a douche.
You wait a minute. We were picking Scott up the other day, and you literally pulled out right in front of a car to move up 2 cars and then into another, like,
Did I say sorry or something? Yeah, but I don't do
Sorry.
it. I truly don't.
Like,
But
no,
but
the guy
Melinda,
looked at you and you're like, fuck off.
Melinda was.
But no, he's a perfect driver.
I'm not perfect, but I try to still drive like I'm in Ohio. It's hard though. It's really hard. People still do let you out, but you were saying it made you crazy really fast.
Well, it's
She's
just,
screaming at fucking people who were driving. I was laughing.
At no point in the car was I screaming at anyone.
Come the fuck on, man!
No, it makes me crazy
Fuck
because
you, dude.
it doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're gonna change lanes, change lanes. Don't fucking ride.
Everyone hovers out here. They hover right on the
It
fucking
makes
right
me
between.
Insane.
And nobody uses turn signals, dude.
It's
Like,
just because you're
why can't
there's
people use
zero
turn
empathy. You're
signals?
blocking 50 people
Some do,
behind
right.
you, and the thing it kills me. I remember you were saying, but if you Uber, it is terrifying to be on the road because you look around, everyone's fucking looking at their cell phone. That guy before,
it's
he's
really
trying
scary.
to get in the lane. I'm like, okay, I'll wait, go
It's
for it.
really scary.
And he's dicking around on his phone. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait 15 minutes for this, dude. Fucking
Right.
move, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if more people are doing it on their cells while they're driving in LA or a big city than they are somewhere else. Maybe it's because you're
like-
sitting
like
still all the
what-
fucking time.
Well, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, yeah, you're sitting in fucking traffic or like, because like right here, Franklin, right here by like the Magic Castle and everything, like that's fucking shitty. It'll take me like,
dude.
it takes like sometimes it takes me 20 minutes to get from here to like the freeway, which is like a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
My
because
favorite
of like
drive
the
to-
Hollywood Bowl or something like that.
I used to love driving
you
to
know?
Hollywood at like 3 a.m. when it was completely dick.
Right,
It was
right.
like kind of beautiful and awesome when there was nobody around, but
Yeah, yeah.
because you know
yeah.
in the daytime it fucking
Any
sucks.
normal part of the day, it's shitty. You know, I mean, I don't have to drive a whole lot, so it's not bad. But
One of the things we're going to talk about too, and this is something we talk about all the time, we talk about any number of topics like social topics, religion, science, and not that you know what scares me or something that I would be careful about when we talk about like a new scientific thing or something we're discussing, or I think more. You know what I think is common is I think sometimes we're not just talking about like a scientific finding that would make us really smart. More sometimes we're talking about the old guard's just automatic fucking rejection of all things new. I think is something that we kind of hover on more often. But I would say
Luddites, in a sense of this, yeah, like afraid of like whatever this new technology is or whatever the new advancement in this
social
thing is,
progress
right,
I think is
yeah,
huge. Yeah. So how different is it for you guys? How different is like you were already super progressive before you came out here. I was too. But what's back home like? Because not everybody, our families aren't all LA.
It's way scarier.
Yeah. Same.
It feels more like insidious and weird, you know what I mean? Because here, dude, the first when I came to visit last year in June, that chick from that weird dive bar in Hermosa Beach, who was just outright,
yeah, but that's like a freak thing.
She
Wait,
was
it's scarier
so-
here,
she
you're
was-
saying?
No, it's scarier there because like
Oh,
here,
back
like
home,
it's terrifying that she was, you know, this random chick, 24 years old, is like, I love fun. She's bartending. She's like, I love fundraising. That's my passion. And if it weren't for the fucking Jews, blah 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 blah. And I'm like,
Dude, the dude
you're
in the bar
20
came up to
goddamn
me.
four. How do you even know?
I was like,
like
I never soccer wasn't very big where I'm from. I was like out here in LA, it's a lot bigger. He goes, what's so sportsmanlike about a bunch of spics faking injuries?
dude,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
But that's the thing here.
holy
there's
shit.
No, it amazes
Yeah.
me because like
That's not
you
common
are
in LA.
surrounded by
Right.
the people that you're talking shit
But
about.
they
no
were
matter who
down.
you're
They were
talking
down in
shit about.
Beach Town. They were down in Hermosa.
But it's like no matter
Yeah.
it just in maybe it just seems like that to me. But in at least like they say it here. You know what I mean? In Ohio, it's like no, you have these conversations like when the black people leave or when you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And so it's
totally.
like it's there, and you know that they're thinking it the whole fucking time. And
Yeah.
people will, if they think they're in good company, they will use the N word much more freely or like random
yeah.
little like.
Mhm.
sort
I'm
of
always
slights
caught off
to
guard.
different- And it just is crazy, and it's weird too when like you're someone who they do that with, and you're like, why do you think I'm alright with that?
They're-
You know
they're
what I mean?
used to-
Even when
because
you
they're
tell
used to
them
it, they're
about
re-
it's like,
I
why do you keep saying
What
that?
blows my mind is there are so many people back home who when I bring this up, like, man, I've been home for a week. I can't believe I've heard the N-word 3 times. I've heard this, that. They're like, what Ohio are you visiting? I don't hear this stuff. And, like, I can remember, maybe not them saying it, but, like, their son-in-law fucking saying the same thing at dinner. And they would, like,
Yeah.
they've almost, a lot of people are, like, in the I'm not racist camp, and they don't even know
Yeah.
Right,
that it's
right, yeah,
normalized and that, like, we yuck about those black people and
Yeah,
well, I'm
yeah.
not racist, but this group's really entitled and lazy and like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's so normalized that they're not fucking aware of it, dude. And I do think, you know, as you guys know, I think sometimes we we liberals are really, really hard, like almost cruel to people who are racist but don't know it. And I feel like you could pull out the ignorance. You can't pull out the willful racist.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's the thing. I think there's a couple components in that. One is like, well, a racist is somebody who puts a burning cross on someone's lawn.
Right.
Or lynches people, or like that's what a racist is. Everything short of that.
I tell her everybody's equal.
Yeah. Everything short of that is just like you said, like those black people or whatever. Like I think that's in their minds. It's like, well, I'm not putting a burning cross.
I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Right. And then but like you're saying about like liberals and how they treat people or whatever, or how progressive people. I think there's an element of like you kind of ridicule people, and it's like as far as the way like this is how I react to your behavior. Like you being racist in public is wrong, and I'm going to call you out on it so you feel embarrassed, and that's a way of, I think, like long-term
progress. I mean,
but I think I think it has led to progress in a sense where people like it forces them to think like, oh, I can't say this in public. Why can't I say it in public? And
what sucks to me is that if you've got 10 people, if Melinda, because we know she's racist, if Melinda won't say what I'm joking aside. If we've got these people, it's still progress if we've got them afraid to say what they're really thinking, but true progress is making them understand why they shouldn't even want to.
But the thing is, I think that when it just occurred to me, so this is like most of my thoughts, not necessarily like fully formed.
Usually she's just on about not liking Chinese people, but this will probably be something different.
They're awful, all of them, but they, never mind. But is there, I feel like there's kind of a connection between he really tells it like it is crowd and like racism.
Totally,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it's not that he
because wise people know they don't know how it all is. Like a dumbass is like, I call a spade a spade. It's like
it's when they're not saying anything or when they're being so fucking vague, like with the Charlottesville shit, that it's just like he's not telling it like it is. He's being weird and saying shit that like you're okay.
They're only
with,
vague on social media where like the
you know?
public can see it. They're not vague behind closed doors.
But I feel like there's definitely a connection between racism and he really tells it like it is. Like,
what's scary? You know what I think is actually cowardly bullshit, and I say this all the time to racist people who I argue with, is like, you act like Mr. I tell it like it is. But you won't say what you really think when everyone's listening.
Right.
So you don't fucking tell it like it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you tell like it is around your buddies and a beer in the fucking bike shop.
Right.
Pussies.
Yeah.
Like that's
or like
that's not actually being like, I say what I mean and mean what I say, damn it. It's like
to whoever's around.
Right.
on Facebook it's just some generic retweeting like a meme or reposting a meme that's like vaguely racist, but you're never gonna say
like on Facebook I notice I know there's some people who they'll post up like the Charlottesville thing and saying, oh well, the neo-Nazi people were just exercising their freedom of speech.
Right.
And, in and of itself, that is true. That is a benign thing to like comment and post on your Facebook page, right? But then they'll also post a video of a black guy robbing a liquor store.
Why isn't this all over the news?
Right, yeah.
Like
and
you start to figure it out.
And then and each little thing is not like in and of itself. It's like, but like why didn't you post a similar video of a white guy robbing a liquor store?
Well, let's answer that now, honestly, because if you're only looking at things and you're not understanding them, then it would seem as though we liberals only do complain when minorities are the victim and never when the white people are. The difference, and I've explained this to people, is that if you Google almost all of those situations, when the white people were attacked by a minority, the minority fucking went to prison or got the fucking...
Well, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
The guy who killed Trayvon went home that night, dude.
Right,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they say, the whole, whole Black Lives Matter thing. Well, but what about black on black crime? Well, if a black guy kills another black guy, he goes to jail. But if a cop kills an unarmed black man, the cop doesn't go to jail. The cop gets a vacation and in a year or so goes back on...
My buddy Clint, my best friend, he's a criminal justice major. I remember when he was going through those classes, he would come back and be like, dude, it's really fucked up. Like, like these statistics on like who's incarcerated the most for the same crime by like skin color, gender. He's like, the worst thing you can be is a black male accused of a crime against a white female. He's
right,
like,
right.
just
Oh, for sure.
The time you do is longer. You know,
yeah.
the chances of getting out of it are harder.
Yeah. Well, they had there've been several cases in the last few years of young white kids who have committed crimes. Like the famous affluenza kid.
Yeah, the drunk terror kid,
yeah. And it was like him and his buddies went to the liquor store, stole a whole bunch of beer, stole a truck, got into a car accident. 2 of the kids in the truck died, and the kid.
Like 4 people on
the road,
right?
and
like,
two people in the truck died, and 2 people that they hit died, or something like that. At least like 3 people, maybe 4. I don't know, but like. He ends up getting a slap on the wrist because it's like, oh well, you know, he's just a kid who made a mistake, and I don't want to destroy his future and everything like that. And he's got affluenza. He's so rich, he didn't really realize the consequences of his actions. And
well,
it's
growing up. I mean, I saw my friends. I was never like a goody two shoes. I was always in trouble, but I didn't like talk shit to cops and stuff. Like I set some boundaries. But some of my buddies would like yell at cops and call them pigs and tell them get the fuck out of here. Like if they came to our party, dude, they would leave a lot of the time because they didn't know who your parents were.
Right,
was a big thing. Like you had a privilege that like when people were like, well, if blacks just do what they're told, they won't get shot. I'm like, dude, we didn't do what we were fucking told ever, man.
Right.
Yeah, not to tangent on that.
But I think it's relevant because because that's often a thing. It's like, well, if you don't commit a crime and you respect authority, then a cop won't shoot you.
It's not all race either. It's also a poverty thing.
Right.
Because poor white kids would have gotten a lot of shit too. For
well,
their same
true. But I mean,
in a trailer park.
I ran from the cops a couple times, but like I was mostly terrified not because of like cops. I would be like, if the cops are involved, my parents are gonna find out, and that's what I was terrified of. It's way different. Like now, I'm afraid to be pulled over because I'm afraid to be pulled over. I'm afraid that the cop is not going to be honest about what happened or is going to be weird or whatever.
But that's not new.
But
that was always the case.
It's very different from
just
being
cameras everywhere now.
It's very different from being a black kid and being like, I could get fucked with. I could get beat up. It doesn't matter what I'm getting pulled over. Like I know I'm probably not going to get my ass kicked if I get pulled over.
What makes me sad is like
that's because I'm a white chick.
Imagining all the black people who went through that like 40 years ago and we didn't care. We're like, oh, sure you did. Because there wasn't YouTube and they weren't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's worse than it was by any stretch. I just think there's fucking, there's accountability now like there never was.
That generation is still on the road and they're teaching their kids that that's how
be
is because that's exactly how it is. And so when people are like, well, I don't get it. I don't understand why they have to. It's like,
well, your grandpa told you don't trust black guys. Their grandpa told them don't trust the cops. Like, I can totally fucking understand these things.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are because actually I don't think that's the thing is like they don't actually, as far as I'm aware, they don't keep statistics on the number of people that are killed by cops. Like you can't just go look. Okay, how many people were like killed? There's not like enough like the FBI doesn't keep official records on that shit because they don't. It's just like you know for whatever reason they don't have that as like a record that you can just look up. It's all on a central thing. It's like those are just sort of spread out kind of records, and so people have to kind of research it on their own and figure out that kind of thing. But I mean, it seems to me that cops are more trigger happy than they used to be. But maybe it is just that there's cameras in the street, you know.
Well, one thing that might be with cops, like, and I get that, but I think they're. In all honesty, they should probably only be able. That should be a job that you can only have for a certain. I
love a certain family member who's a police officer, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it might be getting worse because he and other police officers who I'm friends with are sharing on LinkedIn warnings about like some big get together. Be careful out there, officers. Black Lives Matter's rallying tonight, so they might be getting a little fucking nervous and scared and trigger happy too, and that might be. The frenzy that's making us aware.
Even before, like I was just saying like that Black Lives Matter sort of a response to just the general increase. And I don't know, like even before Black Lives Matter, if there was a general, just an overall, like, trigger happy sort of thing, because like...
I just pictured backwoods Mississippi in the 60s, and I guarantee it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
No way.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, there's no way. I would think when they're,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think now it's quieter, but it's not.
I don't think it's just,
you know what I mean? It's like
there's
Ohio
too much accountability. Every kid's got a fucking camera in his pocket.
I'm not as afraid to get pulled over here.
Yeah.
There is, but it still happens all the time.
You can't bury it as easily.
A good point is it's not investigated by the FBI or their records Although
yeah, but
FBI
I think cops
the
get off like
FBI is
98% of
for-
the time for anything.
Right,
the FBI is for investigating crimes, but if there's that much, so it makes sense they don't have a record of that. But if there's this big of like pattern in all these shootings that keep happening, then they probably should be.
Right, yeah, but that's the thing is that they're not.
Yeah,
Yeah, like most of the time it's not even considered a crime because it's like, oh, that was a justified shooting. It's like it's this idea that this guy that I listen to, Jimmy Dore, who's part of the Young Turks network thing. He talks about that this idea that like a cop's main concern is I'm going to get home safe tonight.
Oh yeah.
And so I can kill if anybody does anything that presents a 1% threat to my safety, I'm justified in shooting that person. When really a cop's job is to protect the community and to protect the civilians, and that's why we give him a gun, and that's why we give him that responsibility, is because he's entrusted to protect us.
Is it really fair
it's
to
a
ask
human
someone
element.
to do that? I don't think it's fair to ask somebody to do that for 40 fucking years.
But
we expect them to be these noble paladins and knights of the people.
But that's the thing. No one is asking anybody. No one's asking anybody to do that. They have signed up for it. You signed. That's what you're supposed to do as a cop. You sign up to it.
I don't think you should be able to. Like senators and whatever, they already get away with fucking
it's
murder.
It's like a soldier.
But they have like, it's like a side job. You know what I mean? Like congressmen have like lobbyist shit going on and like all kinds of other crap. And in the same way, if you're in a position of power for that long, you're gonna fuck it up most likely.
Oh,
you know
anybody would be. If I became a
long,
police officer, I guarantee within 2 years I'd be doing these little abuses of authority without even knowing I was doing it.
For
you know
sure,
what I mean?
dude.
Like,
or knowing that you are, understanding how things are, but constantly having a change.
Yeah,
is like,
changing of the guard might not be a bad idea, but I mean, it's a tricky thing because it is a hard job, like that I respect a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
and that's the problem. I wish there were more. I wish there were cops I knew that I was like, dude, you know, for every like argument about like shitty cops, like look at this guy. At least he's doing it for the right reasons and whatever.
I'm always so proud when a cop comes forward and it was like, and I know maybe it's snitching, but when they're like, my police chief and my whole fucking whatever unit are openly racist. Well, yeah, and they won't say it out loud, but they say it here, and we joke about pulling over black people and da da da. And you're like, he's probably fucking in trouble now, or gonna lose his job or whatever. But like, we need that more. Like that, I'm always like, I'm proud of that person, whoever the fuck that was, for doing that because it's a brotherhood. It's an arms linked together fucking wall that you are not going to get to admit.
Right, and there's
it's like a mafia mentality in a weird
right, and I think there's and in theory. That brother, that's a good thing, and that's what they should have
until it becomes what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That kind of mentality,
right for sure, yeah, and that's what it's like if the cops are acting as criminals, like then what's the point of having the cops? It's like they're there to protect us, and yes, they protect us in a sense, but who's the us that they're protecting?
It's just a human element. It's human nature. I mean, it's fucking human nature.
But it's lost on every.
It's just like politicians. It's the same thing.
I've met any time in the last, maybe ever, that like the job is to protect and serve. Do they come up with any sort of sense of humility or what? It's not like they should come up and be like, "I'm really sorry to have bothered you today, but you were going 55 miles over the speed limit." I'm not saying they have to suck your dick. I'm just saying like it doesn't ever feel like they're protecting and serving.
As much as you're paying on those tickets.
Right, yeah.
But like, it really, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all depends on.
It should feel more like they're working with the community instead of like they're fucking out to get you and they're, you know.
I think once I do believe, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, but I do believe, I know a lot of cop friends, and I do think it would be really hard to follow these moral lines, walk these moral lines, you know what I mean, because of what you see day to day. You'd get hardened, you'd get jaded, you get tired of. Think of how many times they're lied to throughout the day by the people they're arresting.
Yeah. Right, sure.
Think how much bullshit they're hearing, how scared they are.
Right,
like you said, probably limited terms.
And you really want jaded cops still trying to do the same?
That's the horror. That's the thing.
And
they know that they can lie, and Billy's gonna hide it for them.
That are in like George Zimmerman shape versus like recruit shape.
Right. Yeah.
Like that guy, and it was I can't make fun of me. It might have been like a Rogan thing, but he was like, dude, there's no.
She loves Joe Rogan.
I listen to Joe Rogan a lot. Yeah, he's pretty good. You know what I mean? I think
she's starting the church.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
But what I mean is like it's not. You have a cop that's in the same position as he was. The only thing he has to rely on are his weapons. He's not using his fucking brain. he can't outrun the guy. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
totally.
he's
Somebody who's not
fucking in
physically
good shape.
fit. Yeah.
It's your last resort, which is your weapon. That should be your last resort. Is your only option in some cases.
Right,
and that's hard to live.
It was okay. So I'm gonna throw out a scenario that we can compare. So somebody works at a fast food restaurant, and we know that can be a demanding job, and you have people yelling at you, your boss is yelling at you, you have customers that are fucking assholes to you all the time. I worked at a fast food restaurant.
I did so much fucked up shit at our fast food restaurant. I should be in jail.
So someone fucking pisses you off and you spit in their burger, and you're like, well, like, what's the guy supposed to do? Like, he comes in every day and he's stressed out and he's got everybody yelling at him and he gets mad.
Oh, yeah,
and so,
yeah.
So is that person justified for spitting in that person's burger?
No. I mean, but it's not, I would say,
but
the stress of working in fast food is not really fair to compare to the stress of, like,
I
heard stories from my cop cousin and other friends that are like, would make you go, oh my, like.
Yeah, no, I'm simply
busy
relating, like, does that justify, right, and I don't know.
No, and it doesn't. And
I mean, because if you're a cop and you're saying, you know, and you're looking at yourself and you're like, okay, I'm treating these people unfairly. That
self-awareness is fucking hard to find in people,
right.
cops or otherwise, dude.
Right.
There are certain mind types, and you know what? I'm gonna sound like a dick, maybe anti-cop, and I don't mean to. I really do respect the job, but. Maybe, like, if I think of all the people I knew before they became police officers, who became police officers, I hate to say it, but, like, these are words, I better not say it.
But
there are some things in common, with a few exceptions.
Right.
Actually, I can think of people from my high school class who I think actually pretty highly of. But there's some things in common. There's some bullying. For sure, there's some fucking hardcore bullies in there.
Right.
And there are some really insecure dudes in there who were like nervous, teary-eyed wrecks.
Right. Well, I mean,
these aren't the kind of people who look in the mirror and go, am I being a good person? Am I... they don't have this self-awareness, this enlightenment. Like, it's not in there, dude. And it's not because they're cops. That's not in a lot of fucking people.
But it is a profession that people... Like, Zimmerman wanted to be a cop, and I was shocked because I kind of figured that he was. And then when it was like, oh no, he was denied from joining the police.
Right.
Yeah. I thought he was too racist.
Wait, they wouldn't let him in? Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's you put a...
I thought that was their
you put a... You give an asshole a badge and a gun, he's just going to be an asshole with a badge and a gun. That doesn't, and not to say that cops are assholes. I'm just saying it does, like, being a cop doesn't change who you are as a person and make all of a sudden this is
it's like instant hero status.
Yeah, all of a sudden
it's like
you're
a soldier,
saint.
Instant hero.
Right.
Like, it's hero status.
It sort of reaffirms the positive and the negative, probably, you know.
Yeah, because there is a reason to respect those job titles.
There's a reason that people like that kind of want it, I think.
That's what I'm saying when I was talking about the teary-eyed angles. Like, if I get this.
But having a more stringent psychological test for that kind, I don't know what the...
we need cops.
But it's how they go through.
It's like Bill Hicks used to talk about leaders and presidents and be like, the people who want it.
I love Bill Hicks.
I don't always agree with them. The older I get, the more I learn. But I do like him a lot. Like, but he's always saying like the best president probably doesn't want it. The best potential candidate for president, the best potential candidate for police officer probably isn't all that interested in being a police officer. Unless he just wants to serve.
They have no interest in the power.
Serving people is a noble thing. I mean, I do feel like that's a cool thing.
To serve and protect has no...
To swing back to Harrison Ford. Speaking of Harrison Ford, I believe it's in The Devil's Own, actually, when I was a kid, that I saw a scene where his partner, that's that Brad Pitt movie with Harrison Ford, whereas I think somebody's running, I might be getting this fucked up, fellow nerds can tell us. But like, so his partner shoots a guy who's running in the back as they're running him down, and his partner basically was like, you gotta lie, you gotta say that he had a gun, or he had, like, it was some bullshit, and Ford goes in, and he goes into the room, he's being investigated about it, and he comes out and he yells at his friend. He's like, I've never lied to this place in 30 years or whatever the fuck. And like, this time I told, like, he's pissed at his friend. Like, I just fucking covered for you. I just lied for you. But like, it hurts him to do. And like, now I'm like, I don't think it hurts them that much anymore. I don't think it ever did. I think that was a movie character with ideals.
But
and
dude,
like.
You remember De Niro in Sleepers?
No, I don't remember Sleepers. You make that up?
What? Are you
Sleepers?
insane?
You remember Sleepers?
I know of it. I know of it existing.
Remember Sleepwalkers with Stephen King's amazing masterpiece.
It's fucking shit. Kevin Bacon and a bunch of people. De Niro is his priest. There's like, I don't know, like 4 kids or whatever they all went to this school or this prison or whatever for this accident they caused, and they were like raped by a bunch of guards. Like, over and over and over again.
Oh, it was on the Family Channel.
They kill them later, or like at least one of the guards
Hallmark.
they kill later.
I thought we weren't going to talk about
Disney.
Fucking,
I thought we weren't going to talk about prison rape on the first episode.
Animated.
it was a short.
Hey,
it's got
kids.
Bobby McFerrin music.
Our next story.
It's great. Yeah, but
Prison
he lies,
Rape, the musical.
basically.
Prison
And
Rape.
then they're on trial, and he lies and says that they were all at a basketball game together, so they get away with it. You know what I mean? And like, it's the whole like, but it is that okay? Yeah, you lied, and you wanted to fucking lie, dude, because you wanted this guy to get murdered. He was a piece of fucking shit.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was terrible.
they manipulate
He
your...
raped kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's
Yeah.
like you want him to, but yeah, in real life, it's like, do ya?
Yeah.
In a way, but
yeah. That's making you almost side with them. And they're morally kind of right, but they're breaking that law. Though once you're playing, that's a slippery slope when you start playing.
plus you're like, fuck, dude, the guy's a priest, and there's murder, and so maybe I don't know, Jesus will hate him or something. Not sure.
God, what a disappointing fucking transition that was.
Yeah.
No, sorry, move
Can
away
we
from the church.
get somebody else sitting over there?
We could
It's not too late. Can we
pull
just
up the
can we edit
mannequin.
out like a wall here? It's just us talking. It just gets quiet whenever she's talking over there. Is that right?
Holy shit! Something fell.
Because Scott has this closet that shit
80s
just falls out
movie
of. It's like a bad 80s movie gag. He's in there going, whoa! And it all comes pouring out on him.
Yeah, I have
We're like,
too much,
shut up,
I
Scott.
have,
It's
I
not
have
funny.
too much gear and not enough places to put it.
Like a cereal commercial from like
Right,
the
right.
90s.
Yeah.
The dad with the
Yeah,
skis. So we'll probably have. What do you
Guests
think?
and
What do you guys
stuff?
think of? Oh, we'll have guests when we're
Yeah,
ready.
yeah,
I'd say
right,
let's
right.
find our footing first.
Right, right.
What about like a set? I wonder how this looks. I can't really see it.
Looks like
Like drop some curtains or a poster. I think an animated intro would be awesome, and I could definitely get us some cool shit.
Hollywood. Hollywood.
We joke. What we call it? What were we calling it?
The
Old-fashioned
old-fashioned Hollywood podcast.
But Melinda's right. She doesn't want to commit, and I agree. But I do like that. The old-fashioned Hollywood podcast.
Yeah.
See?
See
It
here
just
on
says just C in parentheses at the end.
lovely
See?
Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard. Just show like homeless guys like fucking each other and pissing like two superhero fucking dirty ass costumes. Two dirty superheroes fighting in the street. Hollywood.
Yeah, I saw
City of Dreams.
I saw funniest thing. I was walking down to like pick up a package at the Amazon locker thing, and there was one of those bike locks like the cable kind of bike lock going around a light pole. And it had two like flip flops in it, locked up their flip flops.
I don't know if Scott coined the Trail of Tears term. Did you come up with that?
Yeah,
because we all say that when we step. Whenever we step over something in Hollywood that might be piss on the sidewalk, we got Trail of Tears.
Yeah, the Trail of Tears.
That's from this nerd.
Which is awful.
Yeah.
Are we timing this?
It'll be a thing eventually. Yeah, that's going. That's 44 minutes.
So we're at 44 minutes total.
Yeah, 44.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
so we have
minus
cool.
the little bit of me going up there and changing the camera.
So what we'll do,
and all the bits of Melinda that we're going to cut out.
In the future, we should probably have. Maybe we can just see the number like somehow, or we'll stand it upright so we can see it while we're talking.
Yeah. I mean,
just make a note of the time that we start.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Going. That's what it is.
Or that.
Or that. Yeah. Or just keep talking until.
Until it's filled. When we have a guest, if they're on short time. Fred Stoller would be fun, man. Mm-hmm. He has so many old Hollywood stories. Or Desky would be fucking great. Josh Cribbs, we could have him call in. Honestly, I'm not even a big like NFL guy, but like hearing his like stories are pretty interesting. Like about like
whatever, dude. You can help me set my lineup.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's playing now. Is he?
I don't know.
Set your
Not
lineup?
for the Browns.
What are you talking about?
You've got tons of cool contacts. You could get too, man. Yeah. You think Doug would do it?
I mean, Doug would want to, but he's so crazy busy right now.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. We have a bunch we could get.
Yeah.
I can think of. Oh, Dean would be fun as fuck
Dean
too.
would be hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Ron Jeremy would do it.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy. Huh?
Sorry, I'm making promises. I shouldn't be making promises.
Yeah,
Should be talking about this another time.
I can get Tom Cruise. I know I can get Tom Cruise.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Next episode. Definitely.
We don't want him.
I don't want to be.
This is already good.
Man, dude, he is scary as shit. What's the new movie he has? I'm like,
American Made.
American Made. Yeah.
He plays a maid.
He's such a good actor. I'm like, I know he's a good actor, dude. But he's insane.
I just showed my girlfriend Legend. Lily! Legend, which the Legend of Zelda is based on. Do you guys know that?
What?
You guys don't know anything about Zelda. I'm the only gamer here, which sucks because I play Zelda. Games.
I don't know shitty movies.
So Link is based on him from Legend. Princess Zelda is based on Lily in Legend, and then Ganon's based on Darkness. You know, Tim Curry's big evil character.
I was kind of a gamer, but not any of the, like, when you say like a gamer and you think of the games that people play when they're gamers. I played like Street Fighter and
Street Fighter.
That's like casual shit.
Double Dragon, Tetris,
Need for Speed, and I like fighting and racing games were the ones. Yeah,
that's like saying you're a moviegoer, but you just went and saw Jurassic Park when it came out.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah. I've been learning a little bit about video game programming lately, and it's just like, I'm like, how the fuck? Like, because I'm like, oh, I'll just design a forest. I'm like, man, no. If I want to do this right and unique, I would actually have some friends go design their own forest, drawing-wise, and then I would try to fucking animate the trees to look like, breathe life into it, give it its own look.
Well, that's the thing with Zelda and stuff like that.
Zelda's great.
Yeah, the art, even though it was like
limited.
Yeah, it was limited artwork. It had a style, like how the trees were and how the buildings and the characters. It had a style and a character about it that was like, this is unique and this is
always
everything is sort of blocky and sort of generic looking. It definitely had a look and a feel that was
to work with almost nothing and make something so memorable is really cool.
Yeah,
and now Mario was like, dude,
Mario was like that too.
Worlds, like
Mario's weird, dude. It's
like
fucking. We take it for granted because it's common, but it's a fucking plumber running through a fantasy land, going down pipes and shit. It's fucking nuts. In the
2 plumbers.
Yeah, with it gets a mushroom and he gets bigger. Like, what the fuck is going on in that shit? It's based on a true story.
That was weird too. I don't remember ever thinking like that was strange. Like, oh, they eat mushrooms and they get bigger, and what the fuck? Like, what is
this? Like an Alice in Wonderland kind of.
It is.
Yeah, dude. And then you get to be 14 and you start taking acid mushrooms, and you're like, what?
14, you're doing acid?
Yeah.
Huh. Holy shit.
Yeah.
One time I had a party when I was
14.
She's
only 18 now. Look at her.
Oh, we got 5-6 minutes. One time I had a party when I was. My mom let me have a party when I was 14 years old. I was a freshman in high school, and my mom didn't let me do shit because my dad drank so bad and had real problems. But I had a party, and like all the kids from high school came over, and we just got so drunk in my basement with beers, and like my mom and my aunts were upstairs, and I always to this day I'm like, there's no way they didn't know. We were loud, we were hammered. It was almost like my mom never. I don't even remember. We used to just get it from older kids or meet up with them, whatever.
We got it. It was so easy, dude.
At 14 to get beer, and
it was easier. Dude, it was easier than going to. It was literally easier than going through a drive-through. I would place my order at school, and it would be delivered later.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because my buddy's stepbrother, or I worked at a pizza shop.
We had a drive-through called Jocko's.
And there was a guy who was. There was one guy who was. He's a cop, or well. Ended up being a cop later, but there was a guy who I would give him my order and all of our money like a day in advance. I'd be like, I need like 6 bottles of vodka and like 8 packs of cigarettes, and he would leave it in a bag at my job in the basement.
Go ahead.
I didn't get drunk or stoned until after I graduated high school.
You just told a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
You just had sex this morning.
Yeah.
No,
I did.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow hopefully. Yeah. Well, we're happy for you, finally.
Yeah.
My buddy and I, we put this in the script for White Trash Magic. My buddy and I had a hookup at a grocery store called Acme Click. And our buddy Andy, I won't say his last name, not like it matters now. I was pulling my truck up around the back of the store. Dude, we'd only give him like $10, and he'd come out with shopping carts of fucking liquor, fucking wine, beers, and just fill the bed of my S10 up. And I'd be like, here you go, man. I was like, are you sure you're cool? Dude, he's cool as fuck. I remember he worked at he's cool. He's not cool. It's not actually cool.
Is this who, like, Hearing Aid J is based on?
But Hearing Aid has nothing to do with Andy. Okay. It's just, I swapped it out in the story. But another time he worked at a gas station. We'd just go in with bags, and he'd be like, take whatever you want. And we'd just be going through fucking filling bags up. Oh, no, that was a different guy, actually. Two different guys. But anyway, the grocery store, he fills my truck up with this alcohol, and my friend and I drive back, because I lived in an allotment. We grew up after 6th grade in an allotment across from the high school where it was old farmland being turned into a really nice allotment. So we were like maybe like the 10th house of like what would later be like 50 houses. But at this point there were only like 15 or 20, and the rest was like just forest. Like we played in this forest and in this lake all the time. It was like having your own fucking like Huckleberry Finn world to play in, dude. It was unbelievable. Right. So we'd drive my truck back as far as the road would go, and I would always drive I was dumb. I would drive cars and trucks way fucking far back. And we dug a big hole, and it's still cold out, and it's like in the script. We dug a big hole, we filled it up with all this alcohol, threw some plywood over it, and just threw leaf stuff. And we had such a huge stash that we'd sell some to other kids in high school. Like, they'd meet us. They didn't know where it was at. One day, my kid brother comes home. We got a few minutes left. One day, I'm sitting at the dinner table. I don't think I did this part in the script. And Brandon comes home, and I'm with my family. I don't pick up on it. But he comes home, and we're already eating. And I guess now, in retrospect, like, we all ate together. So him coming late already means something's up. But, like, my parents are like, where you been? Or something like that. And he's like, I don't know, something, da-da-da. And he's going upstairs. And I see them both. I don't pick up that he's slurring. But I see my mom and my stepfather, who have far more drinking experience than I do at this point, look at each other and just get up and bolt after him out of the room. And then I just remember hearing this big shouting match. Him and his friend had found my stash in the woods and fucking drank all the remaining beers together. They were kids, dude. They were probably fucking 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, actually.
They followed the tire tracks.
If he ratted on me, they never said a word to me, so I always thought he took all my shit, which maybe want to beat the shit out of him, but I don't think he snitched. Maybe he did, but we didn't get in trouble for it. When did you guys get drunk? First time you got wasted?
Yeah, 14, dude. I drank and smoked like a motherfucker when I was 14. I got stoned before I ever smoked cigarettes, though, which still just, like, why didn't I just stick with weed, dude? We would smoke cigarettes after. They were like, oh, you got way more stoned if you smoke a cigarette after.
No, that's true. I only had one cigarette in my life, actually. Just not interested. It's fucking, do anything for me.
Yeah. First time I really got drunk was the winter break when I came back from college, I think. Yeah, I came back, and my buddy Phil and my cousin Brian and the girl I was dating at the time, and there was a couple other people there. We had some vodka and beer and just got shitty, and yeah, it was crazy. And like everybody, like all of us were too young to like. I mean, you know, we were all about like 17 or 18, which is not too young to be drinking, but to be like. There was no like adult supervision. There was no one had ever really gotten drunk. There was nobody who had actually really gotten drunk before. You know, yeah.
I remember when I was around was like maybe 16, 17, but like they had all been like by the time you were like 16, 17, you had been drunk like a lot.
Now I wonder. Totally. Now I wonder who these fucking losers were. Sorry if they're watching. I don't know their names, but like. Who these losers were that my friends knew. We'd go to their apartments, and we're 14 or 15, and we'd show up, we're 16 years old, and these guys would be like, yeah, man, I'll go get you some beer. And they go, who the fuck are these guys? Like, I wouldn't do that shit if I was 21 and some 16-year-old kid showed up.
It was also not the same, but yeah, I was 16. Even if a kid that was like, I don't know.
He didn't even know me, man.
I think if anybody underage asked me to buy them beer now, I would fall back on the fact that I don't want to get in trouble.
No shit.
But I would feel like such a sissy, but at the same time I would be like, I don't want to contribute.
The best line,
you know, like, and I'm a degenerate.
The best line was us asking this guy in Daytona Beach, me and my buddy Derby. He went with me on vacation. We find this shirtless fucking wandering drunk motherfucker. Well, we're trying to get anybody to buy us beer. And like these college kids are pretty cool, but they're like, sorry, we don't know if you guys are cops. I'm like, I'm 17 years old sitting outside this gas station. Just ask anybody who goes in. And we asked this guy, comes his hat like this, big hair, no shirt, fucking, you know, like that guy, the swinging long hair, wasted. And we're like, hey dude. And he's like, what's up guys? We're like, will you buy us alcohol inside? And this is like a line we quoted forever, like after high school and beyond. And he goes, he's drunk, he goes, well, what'll happen if I get caught? This is in my script. And he go, and Derby and I look at each other and we go, Derby goes, I don't know, prison, I guess. And the guy, we don't know. And the guy goes, all right, I'll do it. That's it. He goes in all glassy-eyed. It's actually funnier. That's already funny enough. The next morning, we're with my mom and my brothers and our family, and we're in the lobby, and we're like kind of fucked up. But like my mom told me later, she knew. She's like, you guys were out of control. I had no control. Of course I knew. But we're like down there, and we see this guy get out of the elevator with his wife, and like he looks kind of neat now. And we go, hey dude, and he's behind her, and he goes. Like this, he's doing us the nose, and we're like that. We put our heads on. It's hilarious.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, okay.
We're probably out of
Sold.
time. I think that's the hour.
It sounds like Otto, the bus driver. From,
Yeah, he
from-
totally.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
actually looked a lot like Otto,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
older. Yeah.
All right, Bart, dude, I'll get you some beer.
Caught him in the morning being fucking respectable.
All right, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Hey, we're like, hey, dude. And the next morning, he's like,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So
that's it, man.
yeah, we're at about an hour now.
Yeah.
So we'll call it an episode. The pilot we made through one episode of Old-Fashioned Hollywood Podcast.
Forgive us as we figure this out, but it'll get way.
And if you're a
it'll
cop,
get a little shinier.
Yeah, and if you're a cop, sorry.
Yeah, or a Chinese person, we're really sorry.
Yeah,
honestly, more than anything. Just they're people, Melinda.
They're not.
The attitudes expressed by us are not reflective of the producers of this or the sponsors.
And any
of
similarities
the
to real
Because
people
we have no producers.
are purely coincidental.
The characters and people discussed. All right.
Bye.
I'm gonna wear my socks next time too.
Cut.